How much has New York changed, and is it, in your opinion, safer today, or is it safer back in the days?
Much safer. Well, wait. From what perspective are we talking about? Meaning, was it safer to be a street guy back then? No. Is it safer to be a street guy today? Yeah, I think so. You have to understand in both aspects of that, okay? It's a tricky question, but both aspects of it, because then if you just ran afoul or you did something wrong or someone thought you did something wrong, you ended up with two in your hat and in a dumpster. Today, that doesn't happen anymore. It just doesn't happen. It's a kind of gentler street, okay, in that respect. And also now on the other side of that as well, back then, there were 400 FBI agents that were employed against the streetlight. In the tri-state area, there were 400 FBI agents. Today, there's less than 40.
Why?
I don't know. I don't give them the budget. I don't approve the budget. There's less than 40. I guess because the technological advances, that they can track you through computers. I guess they have a higher count of informants in that life. Maybe the information moves differently. Look, I could tell you it was far more difficult back in John's time to be a street guy than it is today. Today, it ain't quite the same. It's just not. It's not. You're not living the life the way John lived it, to be perfectly frank.
Is it non-existent, or is it still out there? People are talking, they're doing their thing?
And again, I'm 26 years removed, so there's still somewhat of a fascination, even for me. There's a lot of endearing individuals that I knew, that called uncle, still call him today. I did time with a lot of these gentlemen as well. They're special people. They're special guys that they could have been successful in a whole host of things in their lives if they really chose to be, especially John, especially my father. Again, that wasn't an exaggeration. That was an accurate statement that he had a 140 IQ.
That's wild.
He could have done anything he wanted in his life. He'll tell you. He says it. And he says it on Wiretap. He says it. He says it in Marion, Illinois, visits between he and I. He says, John, there weren't many doors open to me. The only door was open was the one I went through, which brought me to where I am today. And I would look at him and, because he's my father, and I would always be respectful and say, I know, Dad, I understand. But that's not what I thought in my mind. I would say, that's not true. It's not true. Yes, it was. And yes, I guess back then, and the glamour and everything else that goes with it. And again, maybe most kids growing up, their idol was Mickey Mantle. My father's idol was Albert Anastasia, okay? But the point is that you possessed the intelligence. Now, you didn't possess the opportunity like I did. My father struggled, and he moved the money, but he made sure that he put me in military school. He gave me the same education Donald Trump's father gave him. So there's no excuse. I have no excuse.
He wanted you to get out. He didn't want you to pursue the life that he had.
My father wanted me to go to military school and do something spectacular with my life, and I wanted, not quite what my father wanted, I wanted to go on to an ROTC-oriented college and pursue a career in the military. That's what I wanted. And it took a wrong turn at some point, and I ended up where I was. Now, if he asks me, well, John, if your next question is, do you have any regrets? We all do at some point. If we live long enough, if we're old enough, we have regrets.
Sure.
But I don't regret being around my father. I don't. I cherish those moments. Look, I'm sorry, but do I miss that life? No. Nope. Do I miss John Gotti? You bet. He was something special to be around. That was it. I can't even, it's unfair to me to describe it to you because everybody's going to watch and say, well, that's your father, that's your father, that's your father. It's not right because I'm doing a show, I'm working on a show right now, and I'm interviewing people that were labeled by the government as shot callers in Marion, Illinois and other institutions that did time with John Gotti. And I'll let them tell you what kind of a man he was, okay? He was the complete package. Listen, I have two idols in my life. Two, only two. John Gotti, Nelson Mandela. That's it. That's where it ends. Nobody else impressed me. I'm not impressed. You can't impress me too easily. They impressed me. They impressed me. And for me to have my father, not only because he's my father, but to be my idol, tells you what a special man he was, but for that life. And my view should be the best view, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm not hardcore. There's hardcore guys that don't know any better. They don't know any better. They say, this is what we know. Okay? My political view is I'm a true blue independent. That's what I am. I was a Bill Clinton Democrat, and I can jump right over. I can like Donald Trump. I'm a true blue independent that stays in the middle, and I evaluate a situation, not the politics. I evaluate the situation, I evaluate the person, and I can make a choice where I believe it's out my best interest, my children's best interest, where we should be. I can make that evaluation, okay? Not where maybe like my father being a hardcore guy says, it's cut and dry. This is who we are. Or his statement that he had made to me when I visited him, that last visit we ever had together, was when a man chooses a path and he walks down that path, to be a man, you have to see that walk to the end. You have to stay on that path all the way to the end. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Circumstances change. Everything changes. So me being a true blue independent, my perspectives I could evaluate. And I'm telling you from the outside looking in, okay, now I'm on the outside now looking in, what kind of a man my father was. I know his flaws and I know his qualities. His qualities outweigh the flaws, and his qualities regarding to being a hoodlum, they're through the roof.
You're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but the last 13 and a half years, I've been working on my first fiction book to write, ever. Fiction book to write. And while I finished this book, a year ago, I got the strangest phone call about one of the characters in the book where the guy wanted to meet with me, and he read the book. And afterwards, is like, wait a minute, am I the villain in the book? This is a story about a character named Asher, who is half Armenian, half Assyrian, whose father was involved in the Iranian Revolution, linked to Savak, working with the Shah, that they escape, and he gets recruited to a secret society. Well, when you go to the secret society, it's been around for a couple thousand years. They've developed some of the craziest leaders of all time, and they test you. There's unique tests that they have at this society where they test to see your emotional mental toughness. One of the tests that they have is very rigorous. It's purely mental. Of course, there's a physical one, but one is mental and emotional. If you're Armenian, if you're Syrian, if you're Persian, this is a book you're going to be reading and saying, holy moly, this is the kind of stuff you talk about in here? Yes. If you're somebody that's fascinated by history, this is a book for you. Characters. There's a technology that this society, secret society, builds where you go into a vault. I won't spoil it for you. When you go down, they have a technology where you get to sit down and watch and have a 3-4 hour conversation with Tupac. You can set up a debate between Karl Marx and Ayn Rand. Karl Marx is in the book, who wrote Communist Manifesto. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, is in the book. Marilyn Monroe explains the concept of seduction and sex in the book. When you read the book, it's about development of the next leaders in the world and how they do it and how they've been doing it for many years. And it's also about how to prevent the end of civilization and how this organization goes about doing it. So, I've never written a parenting book before, but if I ever wrote a parenting book, this is the closest thing to it because it's all mindset, a lot of crazy stories. Again, 13 and a half years. Trust me, I told myself I will not publish this book until I sell my insurance company and I'm fully disconnected from it, where it's no longer my responsibility 100%. When you read this, if you're a creative person, if you like fiction books, if you enjoyed Atlas Shrugged, or if you enjoy Divergent, if you like books like that, I think you're gonna enjoy reading this book. It's the creative side. Business books is very easy. Here's how you do it. Here's how this how it works. This is very creative. If you haven't placed the order yet, now you can order it on Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I'm gonna put the link up below somewhere here, maybe even in my profile. Go order the book and read it. I've never written a book where I can't wait to read your reviews to see what you think about this book. So I'm going on this wild journey, and we have some plans with this book here. If you support the things that I work on, I would appreciate you going and reading the book, order the book on Amazon, and then post a review. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.